Everyone wants to know, will there be a fifth Twilight?
I can't answer it. The way I write it's what makes me happy. Like, I can't write when I feel like people are looking over my shoulder. So I have to tell myself that this book I'm not going to publish. It's only for me, it's never going to leave my computer, and I have to really believe that to be able to work on it. Also, I am a little burned out on vampires right now. I think I need a little break. I might go spend some time with my aliens. I might do something completely different. I've got to cleanse the palate. I may come back to it. I did envision it as a longer series, but I wrapped up Breaking Dawn in a way that I felt satisfied with, so if that moment didn't come, I'd be okay.
So, but Bella and Edward's future, you kind of, in your head, you maybe know where...
Oh, I absolutely know exactly what happens.
I guess you won't tell me.
Sorry.
Do you have other books in the works? Or you
Well, I have my one adult book, The Host, that's out. That's kind of my favorite thing I've ever done. And I see that as a 3-book series, so I'll probably go back into that one again. We're working on the movie right now, so I'm sort of spending time with those characters, and so it's likely that that might be my next move. But I have another book that's kind of an itch in the back of my brain that's completely unrelated, totally fantasy. So fantasy, it'll have a map in the front. That's always the judge, right? So if there's a map, it's real fantasy.
Gotta keep things straight. Why have you said The Host is your favorite thing you've ever done? Why?
I had grown a lot as a writer by the time I got around to writing it. I think it's better. You know, Twilight, I was so raw. I could do it so much better right now. I'd love to go back and rewrite that one, do like a director's cut, right? The Host is just a little bit more grown up in some ways, and it touches on a lot of things that are really important to me, like the feeling of motherhood and like the love of your community and your family and how important that is.
So the movie's coming out soon, New Moon, the second movie in the saga. What is it about this one that makes it really stand out from the first?
You know, it's interesting because I thought that New Moon would be the most problematical movie we'd have on our hands because it is so internal, and this heroine is having hallucinations about someone she's lost. I mean, it's tricky. Lucky for us, Chris Weitz is a genius. And I'm just floored with what he was able to do with it. Some of my favorite scenes are the ones that he came back later and says, you know, I really feel like we need to add in a scene here. And it would always be something so beautiful and so in line with how I see the characters, and he walk around with a book under his arm. He was so dedicated to doing it the way it was that way, and I just, wow, I love it. I love what he's done.
What's it like to see your characters come to life? Like you said, you know, you saw them in your head perfectly.
It is crazy surreal. The first time I met any of the actors, we had a dinner, kind of just to get to know each other, and they had all been doing test shoots for hair and makeup and costume all day. So they came in costume to dinner, and all of a sudden, Carlisle sits down across from me, and it freaked me out. And you know, and it's just, it's so weird. You have those moments where you're so used to it, and then you'll be sitting there in the cafeteria and there's 150 extras milling through a scene, and you know, who knows how many people involved in the filming, and there's this huge crowd, and you look around and say, this is all because I wrote that dream down, and it's very hard to process. It's weird.
What are some of your favorite books or your favorite authors?
I love to read. Gosh, I have so many. I really love the classics. I love Jane Austen, I love Charlotte Bronte, I love Shakespeare. Those are kind of the foundation blocks of my first reading experiences. And then I've just recently got more into YA because it's my genre now, so I'm checking it out. I really like Scott Westerfeld, and I really love Shannon Hale. She does beautiful stuff. And then science fiction is my favorites, and Orson Scott Card is my personal hero. I love his books.
What are you reading right now?
Right now I'm reading a book, and I don't know the author's name because a friend of mine gave it to me. It's called Everything Matters, and it's fascinating. It's science fiction in a really non-science fiction-y way, and I have like maybe a chapter left, and I'm dying to find out how this is going to end because I have no idea. So
you are working on Eclipse. The movie, I'm sorry, it's just finished.
Yeah, we just wrapped.
So can you give us any previews?
The action keeps getting better. With Twilight, it was a lot more boy and a girl. We didn't get a ton of action. In New Moon, of course, there's a whole bunch more. The CGI is literally takes your breath away. It's amazing. And the next one, you know, the New Moon is all about the werewolves. The next one, we have a lot more vampire action, and the vampires are going to be able to run really fast. It looks cool. I think that's my favorite effect that I've seen so far.
There is on the internet part of a manuscript of Twilight from Edward's perspective.
Right.
Is that something that we will ever see outside?
That's another one I don't know. Because like I was saying, I need to feel alone with something to be able to write it. And I do not feel alone with that manuscript at this point. So many people have chimed in on it. It's actually everything that I've written except for I think 6 pages was leaked, the entire thing. It was an early draft and I hadn't been working on it, so it's the whole thing. And I'm over the shock of it. But I'm not over the feeling like everyone's involved now, and it doesn't feel like mine so much anymore. But I'm hoping that with a little time to write something else, get my head out of it for a while, it's so clear in my head. I'd like to go back to it, and you don't have to worry that I'm not hearing it every day from my mother, who's like, Stephanie, maybe you should think about that one. Mom. She loves it. She wants it real bad. So I am definitely getting the pressure, don't worry.
Oh, great.